Well, to commemorate our veterans around the world, we told you about the USS Vinson turning into a basketball court last Friday.
Yeah, the ceremony and game attended by President Obama and dozens of others. The transformation of the flight deck in preparation for the game was captured via time-lapse photography. Really awesome video here. It's actually shared on the U.S. Navy's YouTube channel. You see this? It took 8 days to bring in the bleachers and the hardwood for the court, but you can catch the entire transformation in about a minute's time here in this time-lapse video. It's all part of a new documentary. Filmmaker Stephen Barber is working on it, and he comes
welcome,
to us.
Stephen.
Thanks,
glad to have you here on the set with us. And what is the documentary about?
Well, basically, I was able, with my producer Tim Shelton, to go out to the carrier and spend like 3 or 4 days out there with the men and women. That was really what it's all about. The documentary is brought to you by a bunch of great folks, Mike Whalen running the Morale Foundation. They saw Veterans Day becoming basically a car sale. They wanted that to end. They wanted to revitalize that. So I was fortunate enough through another film that I did called Return to Tarawa. They kind of found me, I found them, and I got to go out. It was unbelievable. I mean, I got to land on the carrier, spend 3 days with the men and women, interviewed 60, 70 of the young men and women. And if you've never been on an aircraft carrier, it's overwhelming. The sacrifice these young people make is just off the charts.
And you were there for the basketball game.
Then I came back and I set up my camera. That was my time lapse. I got the time lapse going. I set up the camera and I watched them build this basketball court. And I basically just followed everybody around on how they did it. And it was remarkable. Nothing like this has ever been done in history.
Did you get to meet the president while you were there?
I met the president briefly. My producer Tamara Henry was actually bestowed this world's first presidential mic flag on him with a 92-year-old veteran, Leon Cooper. And we had a Michigan State one we gave to Tom Izzo and also Roy Williams. So they were blown away by this, but it was all about the troops. Everything was about the troops. I mean, the mic flag was cool and everything was cool and all the bells and whistles were cool, but what the whole idea for the Morale Foundation is to let people know that we have hundreds of thousands of our men and women out there sacrificing, and I mean, listen, they sacrifice. They work 20 hours a day. So I was as remiss as everybody else until I got out on the deck, and it was just amazing.
Now, you said a 92-year-old veteran. That would be a World War II veteran.
Leon Cooper, who is the star of this movie I did, Return to Tarawa, that Ed Harris narrated, walked right up to the president, shook his hand, and said, "Mr. President, we need to get rid of all the Republicans."
Oh my gosh, okay.
Well, I'm sure the president agreed with that.
The president agreed. I thought he laughs. I mean, I thought his lungs was going to fall. I mean, obviously he was trying, you know, he's political, so he was trying to make it as,
So, Steve, we have some photos, and maybe you can tell us what we're looking at. And again, the kind of access that you had here.
Unprecedented. Of course, that's the First Lady and the President, Barack Obama, just before the national anthem. Just an amazing time. This was taken by a phenomenal photographer. I'd love to take credit for this, but I can't. It was a gentleman named Joseph Kovar, out of Detroit, so he had a lot of passion for this.
That's a beautiful shot.
It's a mind-boggling shot. Yeah, of course, James Worthy about to throw out one of the first shots. And I was very fortunate. I got to Magic Johnson before everybody and got to interview him.
Because they both served as honorary coaches.
They did. You had James Worthy from North Carolina and Magic from Michigan State. So it was very apropos. And Magic couldn't have been. I mean, I've met thousands of A-list celebrities and lots of people like yourself. Yeah. What a sweet.
No, Magic Johnson.
I mean, and James was nice and everything, but my
he's one
God,
of the nicest men on the planet.
He was like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
He was like, how neat to be here.
Steve, thanks so much for coming in and sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
When's the doc coming out?
Memorial Day. That's what we're working on right now.
Excellent.
And then people can go to vanillafire.com to check it out.
All right,
Stephen Barber, thanks so much. Congratulations.
10:16 right now. Maria, how great is that?
Oh, awesome. I know. I was talking to Steve and Tamara. I think she's here earlier. We have a Hawaii connection, Steve and I. That is so cool. Yeah, so much aloha along with the president.